Namaste everyone. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavagai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavagaih. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat. Now the Ekadashi Tithi is starting in India, at least. Dashami is over by 5:20. Now it's Ekadashi. So maybe we can start the class with a little bit of chanting. Chanting of that Hare Rama, Hare Krishna mantra. It usually starts with Rama Rama and then Krishna. Okay. Om Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Om Tat Sat. There is a very famous line in our tradition, especially in the recent years. After the post-Bhagavatam, there is this line. Kalau kalmasha chittanam papadravyau cha jivinam vidikriya vihinanam harer namayva kevalam. In Kali Yuga, when the mind is full of impurities, predominantly having impurities, kalau kalmasha chittana, because purity and impurity, the good and bad, the virtue and the non-virtuous, the virtuous and the sinful, are always in combination. Mind is always a package in all the yugas. But in Kali Yuga, the negative traits, the non-virtuous patterns of thinking, intentions associated with Tamo and Rajo Guna predominantly, but they are generally the dominating. So, Kalau Kalpash Chittana. Papadravya divinam, livelihood taken care by the money obtained through adharmic means. First of all, what is dharma itself is a huge question mark, whether we understand or not. And regarding dharma, we know from Bhagavad Gita that Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Akarya Vamstitau. So what is to be done, what is not to be done is very difficult to discern, and it keeps on changing, and the mind cannot be trusted. Your own emotions cannot be trusted. So, for always consider the Shastra as the benchmark for guidance regarding what is virtue and non-virtue from the spiritual point of view. Right? Common sense virtues we know already. So we are talking about a little extra. The hidden factors of dharma. For that we need Shastra. So that is what it says. And since there is no knowledge of Shastra for most of us, and those who are supposed to guide us on Shastra also take us for a ride in many cases. There is corruption everywhere, including in religion and spirituality. So what happens is livelihood, making our livelihood possible, to stay alive, to survive, is a very fundamental requirement. And it is not fair to expect a person, any person, to put the survival on hold until they understand the Dharma. Right? So it is a means for living, means for making a living. It's a very fundamental thing, and it is made more and more difficult. Right? As we see the time progresses, when I see my parents and the previous generation, it was much easier to make a living unless the world is going through some great depression and all those things. But it was possible to run a household on a single income. Now it is becoming increasingly impossible. And I see this Gen Z and Gen Alpha and all youngsters constantly on the struggle. They're always thinking about how to make money and survival, and they're going through great pains. Unless one is from a privileged background, it is not easy at all for anybody. So, being a very fundamental need to survive, one has no space in the mind to think about dharma and right. So, papadravya means wealth created by sinful means. The wealth created by methods that are questionable, that are not very ethical, because only that works. Why that happens? It's because actions are starting to be performed based on result. That is why instead of the choice over action, what I am supposed to do, am I doing the right thing or the wrong thing? What is the right thing to do right now? No, the decision to do what I can do now. That decision making is driven by result. Complete opposite of karma yoga. Result only, and the result also does not include dharma within the perspective. We hear about 3 levels of intelligence that is recognized globally. IQ, intelligent quotient, then there is EQ, emotional quotient, and then there is SQ, spiritual quotient. Right? They talk about meaningfulness and all that. But spiritual quotient also includes ethics, ethical sense. I will not make a decision that is ethically compromising. So they say the spiritual quotient is more fundamental than emotional quotient and intellectual quotient, and that decides how my actions bear long-term consequences on my life and my mind, and how much real, meaningful, deep satisfaction I am able to derive from life. Right? So we can call this dharma chintana, that is the decision making process behind the choice of our actions, can be called as SQ, okay, for our purpose of discussion. So that is not, that this does not include ethical considerations, much, unless it is too much on the face, even that they compromise. So whatever makes money, I am ready to do. And then we have what is called as a secular legal system. The legal system is not dharma. That is what we need to understand first. Because something is legal, it does not make it dharmic. Sometimes what is dharmic may not be legal also. But since the government is the biggest bully, dharmic people have to take care. First, the action is dharmic or not. First test. Next test, this dharmic action is legal or not. A simple thing like Ganesha Visarjan. Okay. So if you are going to do Ganesha Visarjan in the public water, in a lake, in a park or something in Switzerland, that would be illegal because you cannot simply dump whatever you want in the lake there. But in a natural water, it is the dharma. Dharma says you should go and do Visarjan of the Ganesha statue in a natural water of body, in the natural water body. That is what dharma says, for example. But it will be illegal in some place. And it may be illegal to do a homa. Recently in US or somewhere, somebody was doing Ganapati Homam in their house for inauguration of the house, and the neighbors called the fire department, seeing the smoke, thinking there is some accident. Because the society Kala Patra, all that is there. So under the Desha Kala Patra relevance, the legality of a dharmic action becomes imperative. Right? So dharma, then comes legal, then comes effectiveness in terms of giving the results, whether is it lucrative or not. So taking care of the dharma and the legality, we have to see whether this makes money or not. But what happens? Dharma is gone for 6. Legality is taken care by sensible people. Even that, if they can find some loopholes in the law, if you have a good lawyer, they go around it. Like we have the big corporations, right? So the kind of food additives they put, the compromises they make on quality. Like we have these sodas, these colas and these flavored sodas, international brands like Pepsi, Coke, and all of them. So they have a quality standard for each country based on the law. If the law is not very strict, they will do a lot of compromises to make it cheap and to get more profit. So they don't care about dharma, they only care about legality. The same applies to food products. The same brand, the same food will be different in a developed country, will be very different in a developing country like India. In third world countries, it will be even worse in probably in Africa. So depending on the government's resolve to impose the rules, the quality of the products changes, and they make the compromises knowingly. They know very well what they are doing, right? And knowingly they do that. Knowingly they twist the result of scientific experiments in order to justify some small ingredient. The effectiveness of a toothpaste, for example. So they will say, oh, it has the neem. The toothpaste has a neem extract and all that, and the big picture of the neem leaf and whatnot. Then if you see the ingredients, some neem oil or something will be there in a very, very microscopic quantity, just as a motivational ingredient, they will say, right? So this is the world we are living in. So papadravyocha jivinam, the livelihood made out of the wealth created by adharmic means. So if I am IIM MBA marketing and I am working for a multinational company, I am here, I am a very intelligent person trained for an excellent IQ to market all the adharmic products, to manipulate the people to buy what they don't need, to create a more and more profit, increasing profit margin, reward the shareholder. So my entire success is defined by how much money I can make for the company and how much promotions I can get and how much money I can make for me. So like that, if you see in every profession, the profession of a priest, we have the rich vadyas, the shastrikal, the ritual priests, Vedic priests. We know how much of corruption they themselves know very clearly how much of corruption they are in. For example, we have the ritual called the Shraddha, the ancestor ritual, right? So if they do ancestor ritual and get dhanam in a house, they are supposed to go and do a few thousand or probably a lakh Gayatri Japa as a prayashchittam, as a neutralizing ritual for the sin of receiving the gifts from that house, which is given on behalf of the ancestors, and for getting the Shraddham ritual done. Right? So they are still do it because the society needs it. People need help to do that. So it's a great service to the society, but they are not supposed to just take it for granted. It is not a simple, profession. It is a calling. It's a very deep thing, and they have to do the expiatory rituals and the practices and the japa, etc., to nullify the negative effect. Okay, but what they do, they will do three shraddams. There is a in a single day. There is a 15-day period called Mahalaya Paksha. Okay, Pitru Paksha. They say during the Pitru Paksha, all the priests will be very busy. In one day, they will do like 3 or 4 Tarpanam rituals and everything, and then come home, eat and sleep. Like that, it accumulates a lot of negative karma, which they know that they are, uh, you know, uh, compromising the dharma, they are compromising the shastra, they know very well, but still they do because of compromised sense of value inside. You numb yourself to other, to your sense, you numb your sensitivity to dharma. So no matter the profession you go, collective consciousness will force us to make a living out of adharmic practices. Group yoga class, sunrise yoga by the beach. Huh? First of all, you are not supposed to look at the rising sun. Na ikshate udantam atityam. There is a Dharma Shastra thing which I myself did not know for a very long time, because the yoga industry is a complete junk. Who nobody has any clue about what is Dharma there, because they are not in touch with the acharyas. It is the yoga that's going on is a Western import variation that is there now. So it's a complete mess. If you want one industry that is a complete mess, that is yoga, and then comes Ayurveda. So this sunrise, you are not supposed to look at the rising sun. You are supposed to sit in your house and meditate or do your sandhya or whatever. And you are not supposed to do in a beach because there is sand and dust and sea breeze. Hatha yoga practice in the beach is wrong according to Yoga Shastra. Beach yoga, sunrise beach yoga. A lot of people will come with their mat and do that. It will be a hit, and they will put a video and put in your Instagram, and then advertise the course. Ashram by the beach. Every day morning we go for sunrise beach yoga. This is one example. So no matter the industry you take, whatever is the way in which the moment you focus on what will sell better, what will get me more money, the moment we focus on that as the primary goal, dharma goes for a 6. Unfortunately, it is unavoidable, at least in some cases, even for the most discerning person, because the collective dharma is completely decadent. Okay, so it cannot be avoided. My point is not to make us guilty. It is not to make us guilty, but to understand the reality. Then next comes, okay, first is mind is corrupted, and because of that, my decision making regarding what is dharma, what is adharma is completely gone for a 6. Then vidikriya vihinana. Vidik Kriya is an excellent word. Here, Kriya means spiritual practices, religious rituals, etc. According to the Vidhi. Now, when we see in Bhagavad Gita, Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yuga, that and also, yeah. So in that we will see what is a sattvic religious practice. That which is done according to the vidhi, according to the rule, according to the prescribed format given by the Shastra. That is the first thing the Lord says in Bhagavad. So Vidhi Kriya, when I want to do a puja, there is a method. When I want to offer the food, there is a method for preparing the food, there is a method for offering the food. Right? And always when I do something connected with dharma, I have to accompany the action with a mantra. Mantra yukta karya. Okay, kriya. For example, when I am offering a dhanam, when I am offering a charity, I'm doing a charity, Bhagavad Gita recommends to do the charity chanting Om Tat Sat. Right? So, like that, we have different things. For example, when you go to the marriages, in traditional marriages done by a priest, Vedic marriage, when we offer the gift, the cash gift or any other gifts, clothes or whatever we offer for the bride and the groom, after the marriage and the Saptapadi is over, when they tie the Mangal Sutra and after that the Saptapadi, they'll say, now you can all come and congratulate the married couple. Everybody goes, stands in the line and gives, right? I'm not talking about reception. Reception is it's party. So that is not dharma. Dharma is marriage. Okay. So dharmically, when we give a gift, uh, the priest will chant some mantra, Satamanam Bhavati Satayoho, like that. He will chant a mantra, then Sagala Saubhagyam, Patram Pushpam, and all that, and then he will chant, and then this is the gift by such and such a person for the welfare of the bride and groom, and then he will say and give the pass on the gift, the bride and the groom, via the priest using a mantra. So that is called as a blessing. It is not just a gift, but it is a blessing for the couple. Right? So we have that tradition. Also in the Puranas, you have uh, the marriage of Shiva and Parvati, and how many people came and gave the gifts. The marriage of Subramanya to Devasena, how many people came bearing gifts. All that is there in the Puranas. See, so it's a culture. So Vidik Kriya is Nitya Karma, the ones we do every day for self purification, and the ones we also do for neutralizing the negative things that we might have inculcated during our day. For example, when we do Sandhya Vandanam, there is a mantra in the morning praying to the Lord Sun, invoking the divinity in the sun to remove all the sins committed during the night. Right? Similarly, there is a mantra in the noon time for removing all the negativities by invoking divinity in the water. Similarly, there is a mantra in the evening to remove the negativity done during the day. Right? By invoking Agni, the fire, the divinity through the fire. We have this mantra. Okay. Papebhyo rakshantam yatratriya papamakarsham yadakhna papamakarsham, like that it comes. Manacha vacha hasta bhyam. And then every year we do some Kamo Karushin, Manyur Karushin, Namo Namaha. That is one ritual. Now all the three varnas were doing. So this is Veda based Vidhi Kriya, recommended, scripturally recommended spiritual activities that provide protection, purification, protection, and spiritual nourishment. Okay. Now, what about others who are not coming in the Vedic? For them also, there are a lot of practices that are given. Tantric practices are there. Pauranic bhakti practices are there. Right? Vidikriya vihinanam. That vidikriya is not there. Being deprived of the knowledge of scripturally prescribed proper methodological spiritual activities, being devoid of that. So what are all we are missing? We are missing purity of mind, kalau kalmasha chittana, then papa dravyauch divinam, the money, the wealth created not by dharmic means, so adharmic wealth, and plus absence of proper spiritual practices. Proper is the watch word. Proper spiritual vidikriya vihinanam, not having proper spiritual practice. What to do in this situation? Harer namaiva kevalam. In such a situation, the name of the Lord, chanting the name of the Lord alone is the solution that can take care of what is missed by these things. Chanting the name of the Lord will not give you moksha. Chanting the name of the Lord will take care of the spiritual deficiency that we have in every department of our life, in our external life, in our internal life. Right? So whatever is spiritually missing because of the collective problem of Kali Yuga, which nobody can escape, no matter how great you are, somehow this collective adharmic force will mess up something or the other. This is inescapable. So if a person is having a very proper scripturally prescribed disciplined way of life, well and good, but that if it is missing, and whatever is missing here and there, chanting the names of the Lord helps, right? That is why even the Vedic Brahmins who are very well educated, read in the scriptures, who follow all the rituals very meticulously with all the rules, at the end they will say, you know, Sarvam Krishna Arpanam, and then they will say Krishna Krishna Krishna. They will say Ram Ram Rama Shiva Shiva. Like that, they will say chant the name of the Lord to neutralize whatever is the omissions and commissions that might have. No, they would have done something they are not supposed to do. They would not have missed out something they are supposed to do unknowingly, or because of ignorance, or because of lack of concentration, because of whatever reason, right? विसर्गबिन्दुमात्राणि पदपादाक्षराणि च न्यूनानि च अतिरिक्तानि क्षमस्व परमेश्वर. They will chant that. No? अन्यथा शरणं नास्ति त्वमेव शरणं मम तस्मात् कारुण्य भावेन रक्ष रक्ष महेश्वर. They will chant this. Kshama Prarthana means praying for forgiveness for all the mistakes that is done. Prayaschittani aseshani tapah karma atmakani ve tani sheshan asheshana Shri Krishnanusmaranam param. By remembering the param, the highest form, the Lord, who is in the form of Krishna, by thinking about him, all these mistakes are taken care. The sin from these mistakes are purified. So Krishna, 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 they will chant. Okay. So, kalau kalmasha chittanam, papa dravyaucha jivinam, vidikriya vihinanam, harer namaiva kevalam. It is the chanting of the Lord's name alone that helps you to cross the negativities, to nullify the negativities of Kali Yuga. So what we can do? We can choose that divine name that is given by our scripture. There are so many divine names given by the scripture. I will recommend a few practices here, how you can implement it. Try one for each, 2, 3 days, you try one, then another 2, 3 days, you try another, and then choose whichever is most resonating with your emotional state. Okay? Whichever resonates with you in a deep level, the deepest level, you can choose that and keep doing. And some other time, something will resonate like that. And I will probably recommend some technicalities here. Okay? One practice recommended by Sri Shankaracharya of Kanchipuram, the late Mahaswami of Kanchipuram. He was considered as the benchmark for sannyasa dharma. He was considered as benchmark for mastery in yoga and mastery of shastras and all that. One of the benchmarks. So our nation has a lot of benchmarks. All the Shankaracharyas, all the acharyas, they're great. But in South India, based on my exposure, I'm saying that this Kanchi Shankaracharya ji was considered as a very great Mahatma, like a living God, and he has given a lot of practical advices. So he says from the tradition, nothing not his own. He extracted from the tradition and made it easy for us to follow. So one practice he recommended. He says words, two words that are names of the Supreme Divine Being, Ishvara, Nama. Okay? Two. One is Rama. Another is Shiva. This is called the two gems. Okay, the two gems. Ratnadvayam. The two gems. So Shiva is the central sound of Veda, Yajurveda. The center of the Yajurveda is Rudra Prashna. Center of the Rudra Prashna is Namah Shivaya. And in that Shiva, okay, Namah Shivaya Chachivataraja, that Shiva is the center. And then Rama comes from, Ra is derived from the word Narayana. Ma is derived from the word Namah Shivaya. So Rama is considered as the essence of the supreme divine that is more both immanent and transcendent. That which is spread everywhere and that which is beyond everything, untouched by everything, both. Okay, Rama. So the recommended practice is this: from sunrise to sunset, chant Rama, 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 Rama. After sunset until morning, chant Shiva, 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 Shiva. So daytime Rama, Rama, nighttime Shiva, Shiva. This is one practice he has recommended. Also, we can, if you want to do only one thing can be done is during the growing phase of the moon, you can chant all Vishnu related namas. Rama, 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 Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Krishna. And then during the Krishna Paksha, that is during the decreasing moon, you can chant Shiva Nama. During the growing moon, you can chant Devi Nama. Goddess Ganga, Bhavani, Gayatri, Kali, Lakshmi, Saraswati, Rajarajeshwari, Bala, Shamala, Lalita. These are 10 names of the goddess. You can chant that. During the decreasing moon, you can chant Shiva's Har Har Mahadeva, Shiva 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 Shiva, Har 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 Har, Shiva 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 Shiva. Shiva Shambho, Shiva Shambho, Shambho, Mahadeva, Shambho, Mahadeva. Like that we can do in the, no, we can, there are various words which are names of the Lord that comes in the Shastra. You can take from them. But the simplest is Rama, Shiva, Rama, 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 Rama. You can chant Shiva, 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 Shiva. You can chant Har 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 Har, Shiva, 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 Har Har, Shiva, 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 Har Har. Like that you can chant. Right? So this does not require any initiation. Nama Japa, it is called. Okay. Repeating, chanting repeatedly the name of the Supreme Being, Bhagwan. Nama Japa. This Nama Japa does not require any initiation. If you have initiation in Nama Japa, it's great. It is added blessing. But just to start doing, you don't need any initiation. You can chant anywhere and everywhere all the time in the mind. This will do few things. One, chanting the divine names will keep away the negativity of the world around you from touching you. It will put a shield. It will put a shield around you. Okay? That will protect you from the forces of adharma. That will protect you from the collective karma that is affecting everybody because of the collective adharma. You will be in a spiritual bubble that takes care of it. Forms that. The more is your dedication, the stronger is the spiritual bubble that protects and takes care of your mind, takes care of your prana, etc. You can also sanctify the food. If you want to eat, just keep your hand on the food and chant Rama 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 Rama. Then you can drink or eat, or Shiva Shiva, drink and eat. You can do that. Every time you have a glass of water, take the glass of water, say Shiva 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 Shiva, then have or Ram 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 Ram. So these two are very, very powerful words that represent the Supreme Being. Because Om cannot be chanted by anybody. Pure Om chanting is meant only for the renunciates. Because it has a certain effect on the prana and the unconscious mind, it has the effect of inducing renunciation in the person. So if the person's unconscious mind is not ready for a renunciant lifestyle, it will create a huge conflict in their everyday life, both outside and inside. So it is not recommended for people who are in an active life, involved in a lot of things and societies, organizations, work, family, etc. Chanting of only Om is not recommended. Even though Yoga Sutra says Tasya Vachaka Pranavaha, it is meant only for sannyasis. So the Om, if you read the commentary on Om, Vyasa commentary on chanting of Om, it is very clearly written. Om, the meaning and its method should be learned from the Veda. It is written in Vyasa Bhashyam, in Vachaspati Mishra Tika, very clearly mentioned. So this is why core scriptures like Yoga Sutra, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads should always be studied in the light of the proper commentary by one of the main acharyas, so that we don't leave the so the basics are in place, so we don't do things based on our fancy. So that is another mess in the yoga industry. This indiscriminate chanting of Omkara, right, and wrong chanting of Omkara by anybody and everybody and in any situation, in any way they like, and also in the wrong way on top of it. And there was one big yoga guru, who calls himself as if I say it will become very obvious. So this he says he is the true guru. His title itself is the true guru. He tells himself, he assumed the title by himself. So he said the Indian rishis got it wrong. Yeah, who? Our sages, Agastya, Vishwamitra, all the great Vasishta, all the great sages got it wrong. Yajnavalkya, they all got it wrong. I don't know where he learnt Om, from Africa or what. So they somehow got it wrong, it seems. So this fellow is giving the correct way of chanting Om, all that, which is basically wrong. So yoga industry Om is a mess. So Om Pranava should be taken from the Vedic tradition and Vedanta and Vedic Dharma. You have to take from somebody who has done proper adhyayanam, not any five-star Swami. I have a lot of now. Ochre robe is also, is completely in nexus with adharma. So most of the Swamis are just namesake. They're just having the ochre dress. So it's all a complete mess. Because of the freedom in Hinduism, we have a lot of mess. And it is the same freedom that also gives the excellent, the top quality wisdom and knowledge is preserved, is also because of the freedom. We are able to produce a Jivan Mukta from the culture because of the freedom. So it has both sides. It's all right. But what we do is, Om is not included in what I am saying. That's what I'm trying to say. So, Bhagavan Nama means Rama, Shiva, Krishna, Subramanya, Devi, all the names of the Devi, Ganesha's names. So, in Puranas, there are There is guidance from the Puranas, which extracts the name of the divine being from the Veda. The sounds extracted from the Veda, so that they have an eternal association with the Supreme Being which the word represents. The meaning and the word are eternally connected. Like Om represents Ishvara. Similarly, the words that are derived from the Veda that represent the Supreme Being also have eternal relevance. The word invokes the consciousness associated with it. Ram, Ram. It invokes the Dharma, the supreme Dharma that protects and nourishes everything. It invokes that intelligence. Shiva, 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 Shiva. It invokes that supreme auspicious. It invokes. Whether you understand or don't understand, it brings the divinity here, now, in front of you, in you, around you. Huh? So the Puranas have taken. For example, we have Shankatanashana Ganapati Stotram in, I think in Padma Purana. Narada gives Shankatanashana, Brahmanda Purana or Padma Purana. Shankatanashana Ganapati Stotram. Pratamam Vakratam Cha Ekadatam Diyakam Diyam Krishna Pingaksham Gajavaktaram Chatuktakam, like that it goes, right? Lambodaram Panchamam Cha. So in that, there are the 12 names of Ganesha, Lord Ganesha. We can extract from that. So the stotra is telling us, the composition, the poem tells us what are the 12 names of Ganesha and how we should remember the 12 names of Ganesha in what order. That is what the whole shloka is telling about. First chant Vakratundam, second, after that second chant Ekadantam, like that it says. That is the meaning of the shloka. So what does it mean? I am supposed to extract the names and chant like Vakratundam, Ekadantam, Krishnapingaksham, Gajavaktram, Lambodaram, Vikatam, Vignarajam, Dhumravarnam, Bhalachandram, Vinayakam, Ganapatim, Gajananam. 12 names. These 12 names of Ganesha, when you chant, you get this effect, that effect, that effect, like that. It comes in the what is called as Palashtuti. What is the result of chanting the 12 names of Ganesha? Comes, of course, it will have a lot of Arthavada, means exaggerations. That's all right. That's part of motivating us to chant the mantras. So this is how it is done. Similarly, we have in Vishnu Sahasranama, Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tulyam Rama Rama Varanane. What does it mean? Shri Rama 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 Shri Rama Rama Rama. This is what. When I chant this, Shri Rama 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 iti, Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame, like that it explains. If you chant like this, Shri Rama Rama, if you chant Shri Rama Rama Rama, when you chant, it will give you the result of chanting the entire Vishnu Sahasranama. So we chant Shri Rama, Shri Rama Rama Rama, Shri Rama Rama Rama, Shri Rama Rama Rama. You can chant like that. Or just Rama Rama Rama. Rama Nama, just by Rama Nama, you get the result of the entire Sahasranama. Chant Rama Rama Rama. And also you can also chant if you want to meditate on Lord Vishnu, and chant Paramali, Gadi, Sharangi, Shanki, Chakti, Janandaki, Sriman, Narayana, Vishnu, Vasudevo, Bhirakshatu. It is a prayer by invoking the Lord Vishnu's form, or invoking protection. Like that, from Puranas, you can take something and chant. But all this Sanskrit might be difficult for many people who are not from the culture, who are not familiar with that. So those who are not familiar with it can simply chant Rama Rama. And we also have for the goddess, very tuned to the Devi, to goddess. In Lalita Sahasranama, in Palastuti comes Ganga, Bhavani, Gayatri, Kali, Lakshmi, Saraswati, Raja Rajeshwari, Bala, Shamala, Lalita Dasha. They chant 3 times this shloka. Dalita Dasha means that one who is of these 10 forms. Dasha means 10 forms. What are the 10 forms? Ganga, Bhavani, Gayatri, Kali, Lakshmi, Saraswati, Rajarajeshwari, Bala, Shamala, Dalita. This you can memorize. These 10 names of Devi you can memorize. And then you can repeat. And also you can use the phalanges in your hand for chanting. If you want a little more focus, your ring finger, the central phalange, touch first. Then the ring finger, the one below. How they do japa in the hand. Then the little finger bottom, little finger middle, little finger top. Again the ring finger top, middle finger top, index finger top, index finger middle, index finger bottom. That will be 10. Then you can come reverse. So Ganga, Bhavani, Gayatri, Kali, Lakshmi, Saraswati, Raja Rajeshwari, Bala, Shamala, Lita. It will come back. Right? You can chant like that. So memorize the various names of the divinity that you are in tune with, and make it a habit to repeat it in your mind as much as you can during mechanical activities. In between two activities, you can repeat for a few. And when you are doing nothing, waiting for things, like you wait for a bus, or you are sitting in a restaurant, you are ordered something, you are waiting, they are yet to come and serve. Until the food is served, you can chant. In your home, you are sitting till mother comes and serves you. You can chant your mind. When somebody else is talking and you are listening, you can chant. That will prevent you from getting distracted by your own thoughts, and the quality of your listening will just go on in the background. In the background, your mind that is running around thinking of all kinds of things other than what the person in front of you is saying, right? You are engaging that monkey mind in the chanting of the name of the divine. So what faculty we must use in chanting of the name of the Lord? What faculty, where should we use? How we should chant? The method is, for example, you are now sitting, right? You're just sitting, looking at the computer, listening to my voice. In the background, probably you are thinking what should be for dinner, or something else is around you. There is probably another window open. There is some social media alert, or somebody is talking nearby in your house. Something or the other is going on, and your background mind is busy going behind so many things, either from outside stimulus or something from your memory, some thoughts inside is running behind. You are listening to me, you are also thinking something in the background, right? You are doing some action in the background, mind is going somewhere else. You have to use that background mind that is naturally running behind something else. See if that mind can remember the name, can connect to the name of Bhagwan or Bhagavati. Can that connect to the divine name? The background mind that runs behind things. The moment you catch your background thinking about something, that thinking mind should come back to chanting the divine name. Now, this is a practice, this is a abhyasa. You can do all the time, because all the time there is always background noise in our mind. So, all the time Nama Japa can work by using the background, right? So, you can try that. And let me know how it goes. You can, the easiest is Rama Rama Shiva Shiva. It's very easy to turn the mind into one of these things. Just try it out. And uh, you know, You can also, you see, this is only a guidance. The names that I have suggested here are only the guidance. Any divine name that you have taken from the, during when you are listening to discourses of Puranas or some Vedanta, some Vedic chanting or anywhere else, generally used in the culture, you can choose any name that resonates, any divine name that resonates, you just keep repeating it in your mind. That's all. It's like calling a friend. You remember a friend by the name. Right? Just remember the name of the friend. Let's say you have a friend called Rajesh. Rajesh, the idea of Rajesh comes. So similar divine being or just remembrance, smriti. So we are training the smriti by constant remembrance of the divine name, which also take care of the vibrations that neutralize the negativity that is around us because of Kali Yuga. And also it purifies the heart and nullifies the negative imprints of karma from taking over our buddhi. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to discuss. It's a very, very important practice. But it is also important to know that this is not going to give us liberation. It will prepare us for liberation. It's not because you chanted 1 billion Ramanama or Shivanama, or you chanted 10 million Hare Rama Hare Krishna mantra, so many malas per day, you are going to get a special ticket for Vaikunta. You will get a special after death you will not be born again. All this is all called Arthavada. Arthavada means it is for the sake of making it sound more valuable so that you are motivated to practice. It's like telling, see, like we have that Popeye the sailor man, he eats spinach and then the whole gets a big biceps and becomes very strong and then beats up the bad guy. Huh? Like that, when Popeye came, a lot of kids started eating spinach because they wanted to become strong. That's a good thing. But but it doesn't happen. So the kid finished and come and said, Daddy, Daddy, see, look at me. My biceps, is it big? Am I strong? And then comes and pushes. The father also falls down and says, Oh my God, you are so strong. No? This is Arthavada. So the Shastra is like mother, Veda is like mother. So that also gives Arthavada. The one who is enlightened will become rich is for motivating us. Right? So Harer Navaiva Kevalam means this alone is our support in order to take care of all the things that are missing because of the problem of Kali Yuga. Right? So let us not blame our times, let us not blame this or that. There is always a way to stay in tune with the divine, and there is always a way not be sucked into this whirlpool of adharma and all the negativity. There's always a way to stay afloat and to stay in tune with the divine nature that which already we are. Okay. So with this, I will come to the class. If there are any questions, I can address. Nobody has posted questions, so I will guess that as a no, and I will finish with the Shanti mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tatsate. Thank you.